Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is week what? Oh yeah, of course. Week 15 of Raw. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, in the end of week 15 we shall have the first ever episode of the NXT show with rosters, stuff like that. But anyway, to clear things out the way, to ask why Shinsuke Nakamura is not going to be appearing this week, here in week 15 of Raw, he will call out the man who attacked him last week in week 14. He's going to call out Magnus, and he shall do that later on next week on week 16, and we shall see what happens. Magnus, of course, he's not going to be here tonight in the show. He is not booked, nor is Shinsuke Nakamura, so they have the night off, along with many other Raw superstars, as there's only a handful who can be booked. But ladies and gentlemen, this main event has been confirmed since last week, where Prince Puma, the X Division champion, said that he was going to be next to answer the AJ Styles non-title open challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, he just so happened to also say, apparently, while multiple episodes of Universe Mode was coming out, that we now got in full detail that he is going no longer as Prince Puma. Well, at least for this matchup against AJ Styles, he is going to be known as Ricochet, and he shall take on AJ Styles in the non-title open challenge, the third edition of the non-title AJ Styles open challenge later on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, number one contenders for the X Division Championship, Apollo Crews, Cody Rhodes, and Manic in a triple threat to see who faces off against Ricochet / Prince Puma for the X Division title in the next couple of weeks. But ladies, what's this? Ladies and gentlemen, Manic, he's getting attacked backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Marty's girl. Can this be the mystery member of the Bullet Club that was supposed to debut on Raw since since the early weeks of Raw, and he's attacking Manic here backstage? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we were told that we were going to get a new Bullet Club member, and he was going to go to the Raw roster, saying that there's multiple superstars from Bullet Club across Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. Raw was going to get another one. And ladies and gentlemen, apparently, we know who it is. It's Marty's girl. It could have been Adam Page. It could have been many more as well. It could have been Yujiro Takahashi. Could have been many more. I see right there. The double underhook suplex. I forgot what he called that, but it's his signature, since that's the closest. That's the actual move he actually has in one of his main movesets. But anyway, Manic just getting attacked backstage, and Marty's girl, apparently he's in this matchup now, and ladies and gentlemen, Crews and Cody Rhodes, apparently they don't seem to care, and the bell has just rung. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I guess this match is official. So, Manic getting screwed out of X Division title opportunity here tonight. Cody Rhodes, of course, lost his opportunity by losing to Ricochet at the Sealed Fate pay-per-view, and Apollo Crews, of course, first ever Intercontinental Champion of Universe Mode, and so he definitely does deserve to be here. He is the X Division rank, I guess. As you see right there, there goes Cody Rhodes off the Tiger Suplex from Apollo Crews. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Apollo Crews, Cody Rhodes, two amazing athletes here on Raw. They haven't been having the best of luck as of late, and of course, Apollo Crews renewed an old rivalry against The Miz earlier on, a couple of days ago on Superstars, and he ultimately ended up losing the matchup. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Marty's girl, very much well known. We got a villain here on Raw. And his name is Marty's girl, and he is a part of Bullet Club as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, also Bullet Club members, but we really haven't really seen a Bullet Club formation here. But we do establish them as Bullet Club members. As see right there, Apollo Crews, easy victory perhaps against Marty's girl. Never mind, countered by Marty, and well, almost had that one there perhaps. Only a 1 count. We shall never know, since Cody Rhodes did break that up. Marty's girl almost got an easy victory over Apollo Crews there. Back suplex to Apollo. Marty's girl, of course, probably the newest member of the Raw roster. Remember, we still need Brock Lesnar to come to the Raw roster as well. And both the Mystery Bullet Club member and Brock Lesnar have been advertised to come to Raw since the beginning of Universe Mode. But then we never really hyped it up all that much, since we were really starting to give up on them, because there was really nothing to really hype up about since it took them forever. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Marty's girl, he's finally here. Brock Lesnar still need to wait for him to be in Universe Mode, but we shall see what happens with that. And of course, Marty's girl, ladies and gentlemen, very well known as the villain of the Bullet Club. So this is definitely going to be very interesting to see him on the Raw brand. As the Cody Rhodes Samoan drop right to Marty's girl. Apollo Crews getting arm dragged for his troubles. Rhodes now with the office chair, perhaps thinking something can send Marty or Apollo Crews Drew that. Perhaps I see their Marty Scurll with the trophy just taunting away. To Apollo and Cody. Nicely done in their mind. Double X handle, of course, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Marty Scurll, the villain, both of which are Bullet Club. They could be double teaming against Apollo Crews here, but surprisingly they're not. They realize it's every man for himself here. But really will be smart if they do double team against Apollo Crews to later then just bring it to a 1-1 matchup, but we shall see. Apollo Crews, the only one to actually hold championship gold compared to these two, at least here on Universe Mode. Apollo Crews, of course, the first ever Intercontinental Champion of Universe Mode, where he won in Triple Threat in the first ever episode. And see right Marty Scurll now with the pin, and that's it! Off with the cheap hit across the head with the trophy. Hitting Apollo Crews across the head with the trophy. And Marty Scurll gets a victory. He's going to face off against Prince Puma or Ricochet for the X Division Championship whenever that time will come. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, the next pay-per-view, as you see from the logo, is going to be the King of the Ring. We're going to have 3 Pacific nights, 1 night for round 1, 1 night for round 2, 1 night for round 3, with 4 Raw, 4 SmackDown, 4 ECW superstars, until to make it a 12-man tournament. And we shall announce those 4 Raw Pacific superstars based on the random order we did, the random selections we did for Raw. It could even be champions, perhaps. No, the champions were excluded. What am I talking about? Champions were excluded, but every person who does not have a title over here on Raw, well, they randomly got picked, and we shall announce those later on tonight as the show progresses on. And well, this probably might be quick as to see right now. Goldberg, never mind. Damon Sandow, of course, he has gone into multiple squash matches with Goldberg. And with multiple, I probably mean this is his only second squash match against Goldberg, perhaps. We haven't seen Goldberg all that much. We haven't seen him in his matches, in his rivalry matches against Batista, where we haven't seen Batista all that much since their Sealed Fate battle. Of course, Batista defeated Goldberg in a last man stand match over at the Order Limit pay-per-view and back in week 4 and Sealed Fate. Goldberg, I believe, destroyed him. Not destroyed him, but I believe he defeated him in the Steel Cage matchup. I believe, because Sealed Fate, of course, we spun the wheel. We spun the wheel to see the random match types considered well powered by Goldberg. And now Bill Goldberg, a couple of knee drops, second one, and a third knee drop delivered right to Damon Sandow, and a fourth as well. And now super kick right across the skull of Damon Sandow. Has him, and what a power slam. Goldberg now on the roll here. Damon Sandow was showing some fight. No longer any more power driver. Don't usually see Goldberg pull off power drivers like that anymore. But I see there's Sandow trying to wear down Goldberg. He has the big man locked in some sort of submission for a second German suplex. Looks very, very similar to Brock Lesnar's moveset right there by Goldberg. With the German suplex, perhaps taunting towards Lesnar and when he's going to actually come to the Raw roster, but we shall see. We don't even hype that up anymore. And brings him down. Low dress press, surprisingly enough, not the spear. And now Goldberg speared. Never mind. Speaking of though, that time the spear. Off the ropes goes Damon Sandow. And up he goes. And boy, the jackhammer. Into a pin. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg picks up the somewhat almost easy victory. As Damon Sandow did show signs of life that we have never seen from Sandow here in Universe Mode. And he was in that triple threat to crown the first ever Intercontinental Champion. It could have been either him, Tyson Kidd, or Apollo Crews, and it was Apollo Crews in the first ever episode of the first ever match of Raw. But now let's just say, after the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, it says we are now head over heels off of SmackDown's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. So now, in the end of week 15, we shall get the NXT show with some Raw, SmackDown, and ECW superstars. The Raw, SmackDown, and ECW superstars who appear there will forever stay there until they get called back up to the main roster, this time to perhaps even a different roster. We don't know. And of course, we're going to have some created superstars that we haven't even seen before in Universe Mode over on NXT as well. So week 15, gonna be action filled. We got Raw, we got ECW, we got SmackDown, we got superstars, we got NXT. We got something that's not going to take me a whole week to do because I'm lazy and because sometimes I can't find the time. Now let's say, CM Punk, Silas Young here. No time for a warm-up match for both these two men. Punk, of course, he did defeat AJ Styles in his non-title open challenge. Last week, Ken Shamrock gave up a hell of a performance against Styles the week before Punk did last week. And so, but here's the thing, the difference is CM Punk won, Ken Shamrock did not. And we shall see how Ricochet does here tonight in the main event of Raw. Now let's just say, Silas Young, of course, haven't really seen other match of him, along with some more young talents, including Sami Callihan and Brian Cage. We shall see if they go over to NXT, since they do represent the Raw roster, but we shall see if they go over to NXT. And now CM Punk, perhaps the vintage Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Silas Young fighting back here, taunting him a little bit, spin punch right across the forehead. And now, Young has just dazed. CM Punk splash. Not that graceful, but hey, it worked out. And the double on her power drive. I forget what he calls that because I forgot his finisher name. I really did forget his finisher name. Where? Now Punk going off the ropes didn't fully work out well. And well, nice counter by Silas Young, and countered the Northern Light suplex into a leaping DT. Nicely done. And now Punk double on hook suplex delivered to Silas Young. And now CM Punk perhaps never mind, not the elbow drop this time. It would transition to a dropkick in midair. Nicely done. Misses that dropkick. Dropkick, my bad. And now trying to find something here, trying to do something to wear down Silas Young, and just a little bit more bulldog vintage CM Punk. And now Punk going on top again. Perhaps another elbow drop. The Macho Man Randy Savage definitely going to be happy with that one. 1, 2, and no, only a 2 count for Punk. Surprisingly enough, nice takedown by CM Punk. CM Punk, of course, the first ever WWE champion of Humorous Mode. So he has something to brag about in his own rights, as he also did defeat Alberto Del Rio in the Sealed Fate pay-per-view. When after Del Rio attacked him, and it all started because Punk eliminated him from the #1 Contenders Battle Royal to see who challenges Bobby Lashley for the title back in Week 12 at the Sealed Fate pay-per-view. And ladies and gentlemen, it was, ironically enough, AJ Styles. And of course, by the outcome, by Styles being champion, of course he won that one. Anyway, now CM Punk picks up the victory. Thanks to the GTS he delivers to Silas Young a couple moments ago. Punk walks off into the distance. And ladies and gentlemen, we now cut into our 4th match. We're going to buy these quickly. And no, we're only going to be having 5 matches now instead of 6 because, I don't know, I'm juggling around. Well, now to say, going into your Heat recap, JBL, Sami Zayn, of course, Heat being the pre-show of Raw. JBL and Sami Zayn, they've been having a couple back and forth matches. Sami Zayn has defeated JBL 2 times in a row for their 2 matches in a row. And later on tonight in Heat, it will be Zayn who gets up another victory against JBL. And Sami Zayn now 3-0 against JBL. And later on, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Jeff Hardy, he took on Tyler Breeze of Breezango. The Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, they shall defend their Raw Tag Team titles against #1 contenders, newly crowned #1 contenders, The Undertaker and Kane, who ironically enough won their matchup against The Brood. But now, before we could have Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy versus The Undertaker, because we already got both of them versus Kane in the past few weeks, before we get any of them versus The Undertaker, we gave a little exhibition matchup for Tyler Breeze and Jeff Hardy just to see how the tag team division will be working out well. And ladies and gentlemen, sure did work out well for both of these two men throughout this whole matchup. But it was actually, let's see, by the time, pretty much long matchup to be the main event of Heat. And so it was pretty good. Tyrese pulled off a magnificent fight against Jeff as well, which of course he gave Jeff a run for his money, which ultimately in the end led to Tyrese actually getting the victory. If we could get into a couple moments there. But of course, later on, Jeff and Matt Hardy still have to defend those Raw Tag Team titles against Undertaker and Kane, as we keep checking back to some highlights of the matchup. See right there, both these men completely exhausted. Jeff Hardy, of course, multiple leg drops, trying to do anything he could to actually keep Tyler Breeze up, Breezango down throughout the whole matchup. And so Tyler Breeze pulled up a hell of a fight. Both of them even went through a table at one point in the matchup as well, but we can't show that because we're only showing the ending parts of it, I guess. We could show highlights, but no, that's too much work. I don't want to do highlights. Well, anyway, this one we get to towards the end. That spin heel kick that was supposed to be the beauty shot, but turns into a hurricanrana, and it gets Tyler Breeze the victory. Well, of course, beauty shot, that spin heel kick, that is Tyler Breeze's finisher, but it turns into a hurricanrana some way, somehow. And needless to say, it still gets a victory for Tyrese against Jeff Hardy, which is very, very nice. And now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to some Raw Women's action. The only 2 women from the Raw roster we're going to showcase this week, Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Becky Lynch won the 6-woman Raw Women's Showcase, the 6-woman Battle Royal in the Raw Women's Showcase that we had last week of Raw. Nikki Bella came up short. I can't believe it was her and Becky who were the final 2 or not, but I do know Nikki was in like the final 3 at least, I believe. Now, instead, Becky Lynch did win the matchup. And so, she's getting the matchup against Nick Bell here tonight, and a little bit of an exhibition matchup, as we're not going to have none of the other women, including Awesome Khan, China, and Trish Stratus, and Bailey, here on Raw specifically. Of course, ECW, they have their ECW Women's Champion in Sonya Deville by doing the whole 6-woman battle royal as well, but in the live event a couple of days ago, after they did the whole 3-on-3 heels and faces tag team matchup. And SmackDown, we shall crown a SmackDown Women's Champion for the top 3 women in the 7-woman battle royal for the Women's Division Showcase. As it's going to be Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and Mickie James for the SmackDown Women's Championship, as Carmella was the one who won the battle royal, and she eliminated both Mickie James and Alexa Bliss in the final 3 to actually win that battle royal. So the SmackDown Women's Champion shall be crowned on SmackDown. But now let's say, as we move on into Raw action, and ladies and gentlemen, Raw rolls on here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You guys are watching the Week 15 edition of Raw. And ladies and gentlemen, during the commercial break, we did have Becky Lynch and Nick Bell both go through a table thanks to a suplex by Nick Bell to Becky Lynch, but Nick Bell caught some of the table as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm too lazy to show the replay, so yeah, my bad. Where? I'm too lazy to show the replay, to be fair. But ladies and gentlemen, this matchup here continues. Nick Bell on top rope, trying to figure something out, and yes, she's able to connect it, the double axe handle, to Becky Lynch, as Lynch perhaps was thinking of perhaps catching her in midair. And now, well, speaking of catching, well, that definitely takes some strength, and some nice strength from Nick Bell right there, and an elbow drop. Nicely done into the pin here. A little bit desperate is Nikki, perhaps. Only to be fair, a very close 2 count. At that, imagine if Becky Lynch is to lose this matchup against Nick Bell. You gotta think what confidence that actually gives Nikki to defeat the woman that defeated the other 5 women, including herself, in the whole Raw Women's roster for the time being, currently right now, in the Women's Division Showcase about Raw last week. And so, ladies and gentlemen, shall see what happens here if Nick Bell is to win this matchup. But of course, if Becky Lynch is to win this matchup, then she stays perhaps the still most dominant woman in the Raw roster. Of course, some other women like China and Awesome Khan could give her a run for her money, as they are two definitely two most powerful competitors of the Women's Division here on Raw. But we shall see on how that works out. So far, it's Becky Lynch, as she has defeated both China and Awesome Kong in the battle royal, along with Bailey, Trish Stratus, and the woman she's facing right now, currently Nikki Bell. And now, simple sleeper hold, trying to wear down Nikki in this matchup, working out very well. Of course, now DDT by Becky into the pin. A little bit desperate is Becky Lynch, not going for the disarmer. And by the disarmer, I just mean it's going to be a regular armbar, because that's the closest to looking good. Or it could also be a crossface clutch, but it doesn't look like it's working the arm all that much, so we made it just a regular armbar, to be fair. And now, backbreaker to Nick Bell. And now Becky on top of the rope. And now it's a frog splash. Nicely done. Into a leg strength, wearing down the legs of Nikki, perhaps. Make it difficult for her to walk. And now catches her into a hammerlock, aiming after those arms to set up for the disarmer. And now Nikki caught her suplex to Becky Lynch. Short, sweet, and simple with the suplex. And now, well, a suplex for a suplex, I guess, as Becky Lynch delivers one to Nikki a couple moments ago. And now simply takes her down with that strike. And now has her, and another suplex, and yes, once again, suplex working out well. And now Becky has her, nails her down with a back suplex powerbomb. Now into the disarmer. She has it locked in. Oh, Nikki escaping before perhaps it could even get any worse. At least I will assume. Now let's just say 1, 2, only a 2 count off the powerbomb, surprisingly. That could have probably been it. Nikki looks like she's gassed. She doesn't look like she has all that much left in the tank, but we shall see. And now Nikki perhaps going for the shoulder boulder. Of course, also known as the attitude adjustments for John Cena, but it's also close to looking like the whole rack attack. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, second and last matchup before the main event here on Raw. So this is not much of a pretty lengthy Raw, but definitely gets the job done in delivering storylines and progressing them. And now, countering to a small package by Nikki Bell, perhaps countering a powerbomb by Becky Lynch once again, and that gets Nikki the victory. Nikki Bell, the small package, perhaps out from the powerbomb attempt by Becky Lynch. And Nikki Bell taunting to the crowd, taunting and Becky. Becky just simply walking away after that. And ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Bell gets the victory here tonight. Now let's say the random selections for Raw. The random 4 superstars to represent Raw in the King Ring Tournament. Silas, from left to right, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Silas Young, and The Miz. Silas Young and Sami Zayn, they do have some unfinished business after the Seal Fate pay-per-view. Sami Zayn did win the matchup, though. And apparently Zayn, now moving on to JBL, Silas Young just being here for, used to being there, bro. Shall see if those two are going to be able to lock horns once again in the King of the Ring tournament. Raw versus SmackDown versus ECW. 4 superstars for Raw, 4 for SmackDown, 4 for ECW. And ladies and gentlemen, your next episode of Universe Mode in ECW, the 4 random selections for ECW in the King of the Ring tournament shall also be announced along with SmackDown in the next couple of days, perhaps to a week. Anyway, now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to your main event. WWE Champion AJ Styles, his non-title open challenge continues. I see right there, Ricochet with the bicycle kick. I was about to say bro kick. And now again, caught off the Hurricane AJ Styles now. But now Ricochet, super kick once again to Styles. Trying to do something here. It's Ricochet off the ropes goes Styles. Never mind. This time off the ropes goes Styles. Has him Samoan drop by Ricochet. And ladies and gentlemen, a breath of fresh air to see Ricochet look someone else than other than Prince Paul with his whole orange and black attire, with the orange mask, etc., etc. Anyway, now, Ricochet perhaps better as Ricochet than he is as Prince Paul, but we shall see AJ Styles rocking the gold and white attire here tonight on Raw. Hurricane counter by Ricochet. Nicely done, but Styles answering back with a spin heel kick. And ladies and gentlemen, since this matchup is actually pretty good, I'm not going to have no commercial breaks because I don't want to. So we're not going to trim this down. Anyway, now Styles on top of the rope, 450 splash perhaps, and yes, nails it to Ricochet into the pin. Quick pin here. Only a 1 count surprisingly, and now a 2 count, but a 1 count. Ricochet now trying to go up high, and never mind, taking a nasty landing on the outside of the seat. And Styles not done yet, 450 splash again. Delivers it right to Ricochet. What a brainbuster on the outside as well. Styles now on the ring apron. Another 450 splash to Ricochet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricochet, of course, the master of the 630 splash. Of course, one of his finishers. One of his amazing high-fly moves. Of course, Styles could hit that Styles Clash completely out of nowhere as well. So we shall see what happens. Hurricane, nicely done by the phenomenal one. Your WWE champion into the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Glad to have AJ Styles over here on Raw. Now Ricochet waiting for Styles to jump. Perhaps going to catch him, and he does not. CM Punk did on multiple occasions. I believe so did Ken Shamrock against Styles. Ricochet trying to do it himself, but you gotta think both Ricochet and AJ Styles both equally the same weight. They both could actually challenge for the X Division Championship due to their weight, along with CM Punk as well, I believe. So they're really that kind of weight as well. But of course, in the former main events, and of course, Ricochet really is your X Division champion. AJ Styles, your WWE champion. Non-title contest here tonight, champion versus champion. But of course, Ricochet said he was going to answer the open challenge last week, and ladies and gentlemen, he did. And now hopefully the open challenge stays anonymous until AJ Styles can be able to actually defend his title. So far, since Ken Shamrock lost, not looking like Shamrock is going to challenge. Punk won, so he'll probably challenge Styles along in the road. The King of the Ring tournament not going to consist of any title matches, besides to see who'll be crowned King of the Ring and see who's going to main event SummerSlam. And also get a title match at SummerSlam, whether if it's Raw, ECW, or SmackDown Superstar in that Pacific brand matchup. So when you think about it, we could actually have perhaps Randy Orton, Silas Young, Sami Zayn, or The Miz versus AJ Styles in the main event of SummerSlam to represent Raw, perhaps, if any Raw superstars are to win and if Styles is not to lose the championship along the road ahead. But we shall see what happens there. Anyway, now Ricochet into the pin and almost having it with the, I believe that was Power Jar. I can't even remember anymore. Yeah, I think that's Power Jar. Anyway, now Ricochet on top of the rope, 630, perhaps, never mind. Nails the 450 though. 450 cross body, not getting all of it, but only getting some of it, but still effective either way. Super kick right to the face. Another super kick. Styles been on the receiving hand of many super kicks from fellow Bullet Club members, the Young Bucks, etc., etc. But of course, the Young Bucks over on SmackDown, along with Gallows and Anderson of the club. So two Bullet Club tag teams over on SmackDown, while Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, and Adam Cole rock out in ECW. And Raw over here, we have Marty Scurll, AJ Styles, and American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And AJ Styles, of course, being WWE champion as well. And Ricochet misses that 450 crossbody. Styles on top rope, nails the spin heel kick. Telling Ricochet that's how it's done. Into the pin, only a 2 count though. Gotta think if Ricochet is to win this matchup here, he definitely gets the title opportunity against Styles for the WWE title in the future. 630 splash by Ricochet. Hits his finisher. No, that's it. No, only a 2 count. AJ Styles kicking out at 2. Styles asking Balor to attempt hitting the Styles Clash. Ricochet has already hit the 630, and Styles kicked out of perhaps Ricochet's best move, and perhaps his last move in the arsenal, where it could probably actually defeat Styles. But now Ricochet has something set up here. Perhaps nails down collarbone slam, aka the rock bomb. And now here we go. 630 again. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Styles kicks out of 2 630 splashes by Ricochet. The only man to actually do that in New York's mode is over is the Cruiserweight Champion of SmackDown, Seth Rollins, with the Phoenix Splash, and it looks awfully similar to 630. Probably because it's a reverse 450. But it's closer to looking like Phoenix Splash, to be fair. Anyway, moving on. Double unhook suplex. Double unhook. See the powerbomb. Styles surprisingly only got a 2 count there. Thought that could have been a 3. Most definitely for sure. Ricochet has gotten everything taken out of him here. So has Styles though. And now Styles arm drag right to Ricochet. Nicely done. And now Northern Light suplex. Nice bridge. Only a 1 count, surprisingly. Ricochet has some DDT planning down AJ Styles. 450. Nicely done. Nation, of course. Ironically enough, the two wrestlers who have equally similar moves. Ricochet, of course, hits the 630 splash. Seth Rollins hits the Phoenix Splash. Both awfully look the same. And ironically enough, they both have the Cruiserweight title of their respective brand. Of course, Seth Rollins with the original Cruiserweight Championship. You also have now of a black strap. Well, the purple championship, now that's turned black and silver, which, because it looks cool. And because I like to edit stuff. So, of course, Seth Rollins with the original Cruiserweight title. Well, at least the current Cruiserweight title. And Ricochet with the X Division Championship. And Neville over on ECW with the Hardcore Lightweight Championship, both of which all those titles represent the Cruiserweight title of each respective brand, but Rollins has the actual one. And now, nice Samoa dropped to a DT moments ago into pin 1, 2, only a 2 count. Ladies and gentlemen, we can start the This Is Awesome chance, because at this point, this is a very match of the year candidate. Nice leaping DT by Ricochet. Styles immediately getting back up for a short second there. Styles struggling, Ricochet already back up. And now, Baby suplex, nicely done by Ricochet off the ropes. Nails that shooting star press. That has to be it for sure. 1, only a 2 count. Styles now has him scuba roll up, but Ricochet with the rope break. Hands on ropes. And ladies and gentlemen, Ricochet lives to see another day here tonight over on Raw. Off ropes with Styles. Never mind, thinking, hesitating, but nails to Hurricanrana nonetheless. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Styles now, Dragon Screw. Wearing down the legs of Ricochet make it difficult for him to do all those high-flying maneuvers. So very smart on the point of AJ Styles. Now has him side a takedown this time. Styles doing a little bit of some more grounded moves instead of his high-flying moves and high-flying grapples like the Hurricanrana he did moments ago. And so, of course, AJ Styles definitely got to think, what is it going to take to beat this guy? So it's Ricochet at this point. Another arm drag, and ladies and gentlemen, like I said, those grounded grapples instead of some of those high-flying grapples, including the suplex, well, at least the ones that take height and elevation. Also, ones like the Hurricane as well. Now, Ricochet was actually almost on the receiving end of the Styles Clash moments ago, able to reverse out of it. I believe that was the first Styles Clash attempt by Styles in this whole matchup, so that's a little interesting. Anyway, now, Ricochet trying to think of something here, put away AJ Styles, and now Styles gets caught, carbon slam, nope. Okay, multiple counters there. Ricochet ends up on top, bicycle kick. Has him, and a simple suplex to AJ Styles. Ricochet, here we go. Misses the 630, not enough. Perhaps elevation, and perhaps not enough, just perhaps didn't connect with it. He didn't at all, Wasn't able to get far enough, and now Styles gonna take advantage of that simple opportunity, that simple mistake that Ricochet has done. And Styles gonna take opportunity, waits for him, trying to do something here. Has him trying to do a Styles clash for a second time that time. Now we do a spin heel kick though. Nicely done. And now has him trying to go for it again. No, Ricochet Samoan drop. Right to AJ Styles. And now, here we go. 6-3. And ladies and gentlemen, for sure after that, that has to be a 1, 2. No, only a 2 count. AJ Styles. You are phenomenal, WWE champion, ladies and gentlemen. And, well, thought that was going to be a Styles clash. Nope. Styles teasing the fans here. Only the double on hook. Not suplex, but powerbomb. Styles once again for a Styles clash attempt. Trying again. Not able to. Can that one be it for Ricochet? Back suplex, only a 2 count. Or a 1 count, perhaps. And now Styles spinning heel kick. Right to Ricochet. Waiting for him to get both these two men struggling to even properly stand. Ricochet struggling to even properly crawl up his feet. And Styles, that Styles clash. Speaking of which, Styles, he's struggling to even crawl his way to Ricochet. Finally does after Styles clash, and only a 2 count. Ricochet kicks out the Styles clash. After Styles even struggled to even crawl his way to Ricochet. Now score rope countered by Ricochet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Styles trying to look for anything here to actually just get a proper victory or a Ricochet here. This match has been going on for a while now. 450 splash once again. Oh, it's a beautiful move to see. Monkey flip counter by Ricochet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricochet, not human, but we already knew that. And another 450 splash by Styles. For sure, this has to be a schoolboy roll-up. Styles. Easy way out, easy way out, easy way out. AJ Styles gets the victory. Ricochet, perhaps not going to change for the WWE title at the end of all of this. And ladies and gentlemen, AJ Styles wins. He is now 2-1 in his own non-title open challenge. CM Punk, the only one to actually defeat him so far. Shall see what happens, because ladies and gentlemen, next week in week 16, we shall also get another challenge, as next week in week 16 will be the go-home show of Raw before the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Because to be fair, since we're not going to have no title matches, no rivalry matches, we're just going to have a tournament. Necessarily, it's still going to be a pay-per-view, but necessarily we don't need that much weeks to build up, because it's just going to really be random matches put together because it's a tournament. Anyway, now let's say thank you all for watching this episode of Numerous Mode. We're switching down Numerous Mode episodes to 5 matches per each. And, of course, the pre-show recaps, including Heat for Raw, Metal for ECW, Velocity for SmackDown. And, of course, we're going to do Superstars episodes, do NXT episodes, the live events, the monthly live events that really are episodes of Superstars, but with greater conditions. Yeah, we'll make the live events more exciting, like the December one. The January and February one wasn't all that exciting. It was just basically episodes of Superstars. But the December one, the one we did in December 8th, of how it had 8 matches, stuff like that, how we did highlights, we'll do something like that. And thank you guys for all watching this episode of Universe Mode. Catch you on the next one, which shall be ECW Week 15. Goodbye.